Sorry about the entry there. Obviously, I'm at home. I'm not in the office, which is okay. But I'm sitting here this morning just enjoying a nice bulletproof coffee. And it's perfect because that's what I wanted to talk about today. And so here's the thing, guys. We are 23 days into No Sugar January, and the majority of you guys are doing absolutely awesome. You guys are crushing it. I certainly am enjoying it. I am feeling incredible. I woke up this morning, probably the less bloated, less inflammation that I've been this entire time. And I wanted to talk about the process, the journey. And we've heard it this past week in the office, and we've had some messages online, and obviously we have a massive challenge group on Facebook with like 30,000 people, and I'm seeing it. And that is, hey, I've been doing No Sugar January, which is also a form of, basically low carb, very, very low carb, or in a way, ketogenic. And, but I'm not losing weight. And I wanted to talk about that. And I wanted to go into the details of, the physiological piece of actually what your body is going through. So I got some notes here. But before we get started, I'm going to have some coffee. If you don't know what a bulletproof coffee is, it's butter, highly concentrated MCT oil. It's like fat coffee. Very prevalent in the keto realm. So, but guys, as always, if you are watching from somewhere, please let us know. And then, let me just pull up my notes here. So, but anyway, guys, I'm super proud with everybody that we've chatted with, and making it this far in this journey. Yes, just making sure we are live. Perfect. Guys, this is a big feat, right? A lot of people tend to struggle with, this process, but usually in this part of, the time frame, the game of, being 22, 23 days in, people are really starting to feel great. And so I wanted to kind of give you guys my personal experience, and I apologize for the beard bun. I just wanted to go live and, just be real with you guys. So, my personal journey, having done No Sugar January several years in a row, using this as a tool, which is very important when it comes to your health journey. And I've done all the other diets way before this. I've done keto. I've done carnivore. I've essentially, in some ways, tried this entire metabolic flexibility. And really what I found is, the no sugar, reducing the amount of carbs, reducing the amount of, glucose spikes, things like that really do help me out. Now, guys, if you guys have been following the Wellness Way or following our office for any sort of amount of time, you guys know that we're all about testing. We're not about guessing what's going on. We're not about just throwing stuff at the wall, seeing if it works. Guys, that's 99% of what we see, specifically online here. We see, all these TikTok influencers, telling you, oh, take this supplement. It's fantastic. Guys, they're just trying to sell you a product. And they're doing it without knowing, what their body needs. And that, in my opinion, is throwing the kitchen sink to see if something works. Now, a lot of our patients come in and they're on supplements, right? Pretty much everybody in the world, they're taking supplements. Some people are taking this stuff, that they buy at Walmart or Target, or Amazon, which we certainly don't recommend. We just did a video on that, because they commingle fake supplements with real supplements. So you never know what you're gonna get. It's kind of a potpourri there, especially on Amazon. But there's been several studies that show these, Centrum and things like that from Walmart. There's literally no nutritional value, which you're just wasting your money. And that's part of our philosophy of going, hey, what is your body actually showing us through your comprehensive lab work of what does it need? What is it saying? Hey, I need help with this process in my body. Cool. We're going to give you one of the most potent, badass herbs that we have that's going to help you do that. And that's why we primarily use liquid herbs. You don't need to digest them. They're super, super, super potent, and they get into your system and they start working almost instantly when you take them. So it's very, very important that you guys are not wasting your money and actually understanding what's going on and why you're taking this and how we're doing that. And that's one of the best things that we do as Wellness Way clinics is we provide complete care. The majority of the world out there, the majority of functional medicine clinics and medical doctors and naturopaths, they are not providing complete care. And we know this after being in practice for, Dr. Jacqueline's been in practice for 13, 14 years. So, but let's dive into it, guys. I want to share my own journey with you. So having done no sugar, I think this is my fifth or sixth year. I know how my body's going to respond, and I always know, especially around the end of week 2, the start of week 3, I'm feeling pretty darn good, and that is right now exactly how I am. I woke up this morning, I wasn't bloated, my inflammation is pretty much non-existent, and I'm feeling better, more energy. And that's not to say that there's, some other health stuff that I'm working on, which I'll do another live on. But I decided that for this no sugar January here in 2026, that I was going to track more, right? If you hopped on the challenge page and you downloaded the tracker, I took it a step further, which I typically do. And what I mean by that is I decided I am going to track my weight. I am going to track my waking glucose, and I'm going to track my waking ketones. And I'm so happy that I did that because it's giving me the tool to talk with patients, to talk with you guys about this idea of weight, this idea of metabolic flexibility, ketones versus glucose, insulin sensitive versus insulin resistant, and things like that. But more importantly, I know what you guys want. You want to drop the LBs. And I'm here to tell you to stop weighing yourself. Please, for the love of God, please stop weighing yourself. Because we've heard it several times this past week. I'm doing this, I'm following the program, I'm not losing weight. And when we get down to the nitty gritty of it, when we're interacting with our patients and we're getting ready to take a deep dive and we're asking them questions, figuring out what's going on, what are they doing right, everything that we do in our clinic. When we get down to it, what ends up happening is they just haven't lost the weight that they want to lose, right? And guys, we have to remember that our body is going to never make a mistake. So if we're holding on to weight or if we're not dropping as much as we want to, maybe we don't have some realistic goals. Maybe we have, some misconception there that your body is going to do what it needs to do. All that you have to do is follow the process and let your body start to repair itself. And I understand that could be difficult to hear because, even as a man, I'm no different. Like I want to look good. I want to feel good. I want to be, thriving. Right. And I just know with our training and our background and being in practice with Dr. Jacqueline that we need to allow the body to repair and rebuild itself. And so as I've been tracking my weight, the reason I wanted to track my weight, the only reason I wanted to track my weight is for this video that I'm doing right now on January 23rd. So initially, I started dropping weight. For me, everybody's different. For me, I'll go 3 or 4 days without moving the scale. That's just how my body is. But then what'll happen is typically around that fourth, maybe the fifth day, I start to lose, a pound and a half, 2 pounds. I start dropping, right? And that's exactly what happened to me. I dropped down to 197 and I sat there for about a day or two. But then this is the thing, guys. I went back up by 4 pounds. Okay. So this is a very important thing where this is how your body, the cycle that it starts to go through can start to change. And this is where, You've probably seen something like this where, you think that it's linear and that doing no sugar January, you're following it, you're doing great, you're working out, doing all these things. It starts, it's not linear. You think it just should just keep going down, 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 right? It's not how it works, right? It's it's kind of like the needle on a polygraph, man. It goes down, it goes up, it goes like this, right? And what we typically see at this point is that's when people start to get frustrated, particularly you ladies. You guys start to get frustrated, and this is what you start to do. Okay, I'm going to work out harder. I'm going to restrict my calories more because you think you're going in the wrong direction, but really your body's doing what it needs to do. So I would highly caution you not to start restricting your calories more, start, doing more cardio or whatever if you're working out through this process, because you're going to actually end up spiking your cortisol. And that's a very big key component when your body is trying to lose weight. And guys, we have to understand that calories don't cause inflammation. Okay. It's the foods we eat, it's the toxins that we're exposed to, things like that. Calories are not the culprit here. And when I say, ladies, please throw away your scale or don't hop on it during this process, because it's a terrible metric for actually what your body is doing when it comes to repairing and rebuilding. I will say that again. Weighing yourself in the morning is a terrible metric for what your body is actually doing when it comes to repairing and rebuilding. Okay. It's weight, right? Your weight's going to fluctuate from a day to day basis. Now, if my recommendation would be, you know what, take your weight at the beginning and take your weight at the end. But in between then, let your body go through this journey. Let your body go through this process as long as you're following the plan. And that's the whole other thing is, we have people that, they're like, I just needed this. Yes. Okay. So then they restart, right? And we continue to perpetuate this, roller coaster, if you will, of their health and the scale and everything like that. Um, the other thing, ladies, is when you hop on the scale every day, it's going to create stress. So if the scale is not moving the way that you want it to, or in your mind, how you have it set up, down, 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 you're actually going to create stress. And guess what happens when you create stress? You're going to hold on to more weight, more inflammation. So you're just going to actually snowball the effect here of what you're trying to achieve. And so, weight is one piece, but I took it a step further. I wanted to check my glucose. I wanted to check my ketone levels. And, I was actually really surprised, and I'm happy I've done it because I've actually been able to learn more throughout this process, even having a basic understanding of what's going on and what's actually happening. So, 3 days ago, my ketones were zero point 0.7, zero point 0.8. And then over the past few days, they've continued to drop. And like I said, this is where people start to panic. Now, on the other side of that, my glucose actually went up. And that's where I was like, okay, let's dive into the physiological things that are happening when it comes to this. So, what's actually happening to my body is it's adapting. Okay. When you are early in ketosis, your ketones are going to be higher because your body is metabolically inefficient. And as your cells start to learn to use the ketones better, your blood levels are actually going to drop. So, just because my ketones started to go down by, not even a full point, it just means that um, I'm actually utilizing that source better, being, this far into the process. Now, we have to understand that our bodies are designed to run on glucose and they're also designed to run on ketones. And when you look at our ancestors, when you look back into the primitive times, there were days where they were fasting, right? They didn't always have a meal. And so during those times of fasting and not having a meal, they were running on ketones. Okay. And our bodies are able to switch back and forth through this process between glucose and ketones, which is it's actually amazing, right? And it's not like today. right? Today, we're overweight, we're obese, we're sicker than ever because we just are constantly putting glucose in our mouth at all times. Like, guys, today I've seen it. I've had some, not my friends, but like friends of my family members where, we've been on a golf trip or something and they order crumble cookie at 10 p.m. at night and it gets delivered to your door, right? We literally push a button and we could have food within 30 minutes and we're stuffing it in our face, right? And this is a big proponent of why we're also doing no sugar Januaries because we are retraining our body to operate on these systems. Okay. And so, um, you know, lower ketones does not mean we're not losing fat, we're not reducing inflammation. It just means that we are starting to get more efficient. Okay, so that's a very big proponent there. So now with glucose, like why did my glucose bump up? And essentially, it's glucose sparing. So when my carbs are low, your muscles will start pulling glucose so that the brain gets the priority, and the liver's going to release just enough glucose to keep things running properly. So this can actually raise your fasting glucose slightly, even though your insulin's going to stay low. So this is just normal physiology. This isn't, pre-diabetes, things like that. And it's just your body's amazing way to adapt to your current environment, to adapt to your current diet and everything that you're doing. So let's see who we got. We got a few people popping on here. Thanks for joining me, guys. Um, as always, guys, please just drop some questions if you have them. Even if we don't answer them on this live, we will definitely get back to your questions. So, all right, so let's continue. So, taking a deeper dive into the physiology of why is your scale bouncing around? Guys, it could be anything. It could be water retention. It could be your sodium intake. Maybe you didn't hit your electrolytes good enough the day or 2 days before. It could be glycogen stores. It could be stress hormones. Maybe you had a stressful event that happened at work. But the problem is, like I said, if you're chasing the weight on the scale, you're focusing in the wrong areas. Now, what I would recommend is I recommend taking daily photos. Okay. Because, especially 3 weeks in, you're not only are you feeling the changes, you can start to see the changes. Okay. And that's why I like daily photos because you can actually see like, oh, today I was not as inflamed, but yesterday I was, and you can see the cycle, right? And I think you know, taking photos is a lot more indicative of what your body's actually going through and that you're actually well on your way with this process. Um, but like I said, this is where a lot of people start to go, I'm gonna go harder because I want that result, right? And again, I would definitely, don't cut calories, don't tighten in harder, don't add cardio, don't panic. All these things are gonna make your cortisol go up, which means your glucose is gonna spike and your progress is just gonna stall. So um, you know, in closing, I just want you guys to know that you just need more patience. You need more patience in the process. You need to allow time for your body to restore and rebuild itself. And this is what that metabolic flexibility really looks like, right? You just have to stay the course. Let's trust our body's process and let's see what happens over this next this next 7 days when we wrap up to day 30. I myself, I'm going to be continuing on. I'm going to be doing this for another 20 days, so I'm going to end up doing no sugar January for I think about 48 days, just based on when I started and everything like that, just because I want to, really feel good and see where I land. Right now, I don't know. I've never done 50 days straight. So there may be a day or two in there where I might actually need some carbs, because now my body's gotten to a certain point to where I need to go back and forth. Right. So, I'm going to continue tracking. I'm going to continue monitoring my blood glucose in the morning. I'm going to continue monitoring my ketones. And the meter, if anybody's wondering, I use the Mojo. They're fairly cheap. And I would only do this really during this time where I'm reducing inflammation, I'm reducing, or I'm in fat burning mode here. So, anyway, guys, appreciate you guys hopping on Friday. Again, thanks for dealing with the bed beard here. But I wanted to get this information out to you, and I just wanted to encourage you to keep going. And I hope that, and I do know, like, you guys are crushing this no sugar January. You guys are, absolutely just sticking to the plan. And yeah, there's going to be tough days, but don't give in, don't quit. If you feel like giving up, go watch. I think it was day 8. I did a video about motivation here. You can scroll down on the page, but don't give in. Give it the full 30 days. And I know that after doing this for some time, that after 30 days, you're going to be in one or two camps. You're going to be in the camp that they're like, great, that was 30 days. I'm going to go crush some stuff. And then, they really never transform themselves into these habits that we've established, because you guys have to remember, a lot of this is education. We're building new habits. We're building a new way to eat and feel, right. And there are that group that will go back to eating the crap before. Or you're going to be in that other camp, which I hope that you are, is you're going to go, yeah, I'm going to change some things here. I won't be as restricted, but I'm going to change some things here because I don't want to lose the progress that I've gotten so far, and I want to continue this progress and continue to, live this way. Because a lot of you guys have told us that your palate's just been reawakened, right? Like, you're like, I love cucumbers now. You just never eat them before. That's me, by the way. But yeah, your palate has been, awakened. You're eating foods, and you're just feeling absolutely great. So if you are somebody that even after, 3 weeks or the full 30 days, who is still struggling, then yeah, you might have to do some deeper testing. Or you might have to understand that, your body really struggles, or you're just super highly addicted to sugar still, or carbs, that you're not in that flexibility yet. You guys got to remember, everybody's different. I'm different than you. My physiology is different than you. Okay. And so that's where deeper testing may be necessary. You might need to take another food allergy test. You might need to do another stool test to assess your gut function. Maybe if you didn't have that before, maybe you weren't actually digesting the food that you're eating. And that's why we're still struggling. We're still seeing some bloating, still seeing some things here. Or you could be like me, where you need a deeper methylation test to actually really get down to the nitty gritty on, what type of supplementation you need. And, if I have SNPs, on how my body processes. That's what methylation is. It's basically how your body processes nutrients and things like that. And so you might need, different testing. So if you do, definitely reach out, and we can get some testing going. But anyway, guys, happy Friday. I hope everybody has a great weekend. It's going to be cold here in Colorado. It finally feels like winter. We got some snow coming down. We got some ice on the roads. That's our typical winter here in Colorado. So until then, guys, have a great weekend, and we'll see you next time.